Hi, I'm Professor Rod Appleton. I'm going to show you how to draw in charcoal a bit, and we're going to, for the subject, we're using a glass partially filled with water. And you want the light to be on this side like this, and you want it pretty dark otherwise in the room, except where you're drawing so you can see what you're drawing. So you need some sort of ambient light like we have. And I need a little more light than you'll need actually so that it shows up on the camera. Okay, so I've drawn this partially already in pencil. You just lightly in pencil draw this in place, okay? And you've got basically 3 ellipses on this at the top, and they're all going to be just a bit different widths because of how you're looking and the height of your height of your eye, where your eyes are. Okay. Now, when you draw the bottom ellipse in the bottom or the base of the glass, it's basically the same width as the mouth of the glass. And so if you draw a vertical line down from that, it's kind of about the same as the mouth. Okay. So that gives you a sense of the proportions of this. All right. So now I'm going to take and start with a little bit of charcoal. Now, when working with charcoal, there are ways to sharpen your pencil. Maybe I'll show you that in class, during class, but
With that hand.
I'm sorry. And but to start with, I'm going to start with probably maybe work with a hard lead pencil, hard charcoal pencil. And we also have with us a blending stump, which is useful. And on the side, you also want to have a, let's see, where's my... You want a piece of paper on the side to do your tests and also to give yourself some charcoal powder to work with. Okay, so I'm going to do, you can see the test with the hard is about like this. It's a little bit too hard actually, and not as dark as I wanted it to be. So I'm actually going to work with, try the medium. Okay, and soft, and this is the soft. Okay. Now, the way to sharpen these best is probably not using a pencil sharpener, but actually using a razor blade to give it a sharper point. Okay. Not going to take too much time for this, I hope, but problem with using a pencil sharpener is it breaks the charcoal. It's brittle, so you have to kind of be a little careful with this. And it works better to have a razor blade, or use a razor blade, or you could use a mat knife for X-Acto blade. It's the same way. Basically what I'm doing is just pushing with my thumb to do the sharpening. I'm not pulling it with my left thumb. I'm not pulling it with my right hand. I'm just holding it in place with the right hand. Okay, it's about like this. Okay, all right, so to start with, if you look at the glass, certain things are dark on this, and very dark. And the way you get the effect of glass at times is by doing some of the lines and some of the depiction is very dark lines, and then others are much softer, and sometimes they even disappear around the edges. Okay, so since this is the lip of the glass, it has some light lines, okay. Yeah, I know it's very quiet right now on this, but I want to talk all the time. But now you want it, when you draw this, you want to draw what you're looking at and what you see. Okay, you don't want to make up things, and as much as possible. I mean, sometimes you want to keep looking back and forth from your subject to the glass as you draw this. And I'm probably not going to spend the whole time on the glass to show you, but I'll show you the finished product for this when I'm kind of at a point where I can show it to you a little later, because I won't be able to, I won't have enough space on my camera, for one thing, to do the whole lecture this way, but also I don't want to spend too much time just doing the demonstration and I'd rather have you begin with this and go ahead and start. But you have to be very careful when you're doing this. Even the water itself has two lines going in on it, showing two lines for it. At least in the front, not around the back of it, but in the front of it. Okay. Now, I've sharpened my pencil on this piece of paper, so I want to have a trash can close by, and you can take it and drop off the filings from the charcoal. And also, I can take the charcoal that I've given you all, some soft charcoal to work with. So this, you can use this. You want to use this for some portions of this, and also you can see how dark it is. But also, you can use cloth with this as well, especially in the gray areas that show up on your piece. So you're going to take and do some rubbing tests on the paper, okay, like this. Okay, and then you can come over, and what I see on this is this kind of rubbing like this about. Maybe a little more, a little stronger. And don't be too concerned about the edges, because you can come back and erase as long as you're using just this smudging a portion piece like this. You can erase this easily, okay, so that it matches up with what you're looking at. Okay. Now, as regards an eraser too, though, times you want to have a sharp edge for it. So you take a razor and the eraser, and you go ahead and cut it. Okay. And it gives you a sharp edge, say like this. Okay, and that'll allow you to come in and clean up an edge of the glass if you need to. And also do a sharp edge when you've got a sharp edge on the inside of the glass. Okay. Now, the glass, even though it looks like it could be white, go ahead and show the glass a little bit. Even though it looks like it should be white and looking through the water, it's not completely white. It's it's maybe white looking just through the glass portion, but the water itself is not that white. So you need to do a little bit of value work on the inside of the glass as well, okay, and in the water above. So very softly, very carefully, just go in there and give it a little more value than just the white. All right. Okay, and then, okay. Now, I have a lot of this pencil line. I want to erase a little bit of this for the stem, because I don't want it really to show up where it's white on white for the background. So I want it to be pretty white there. Okay, and we can also use a blending stump or the tortillon, and rub that into the charcoal powder and take that and use that to create some of these other values that are in here. And also on the edge of the stem of the glass. Okay. And you can use it in certain other areas just to give a very light definition to where the edges of that water is, as well as up here. And maybe I'll take my medium charcoal pencil and create this. trying to match what you see. Be careful, try to very carefully observe this. This takes a lot of close observation and patience in order for you to be what you want, to be what you're looking at. So be as careful with this as you can be, about looking at what you're looking at, and try not to make up things. It's hard to do, though. You'll see when you start to work with this. It's harder than it is than the other work that we've done in here. And let's see. I would like this to be a stronger gray on the stem. So give myself some more charcoal. This is going to be, I could take and, oops, I'll show this. Should have this. Take the edge of a paper and it's maybe a little bit, not really cheating, but kind of touch. But this will save me having to erase some later. And I want to just do that edge of that stem on this side, and very lightly. Okay, and when it comes down to certain areas, you'll see there's stronger blacks in some areas. In some areas are a bit lighter. Each one where it has rings around, you'll see when you look at this, you'll see rings going around the stem in different places. And it varies depending on where you are, depending on where you're looking from. Okay. Has it been a long time, huh? Okay, I better. Okay, we're going to stop pretty soon, but just know that this has two lines, okay, for the edge of the base. So make sure that you include that, okay? And I'm going to bring out the piece I've already done of this to give you an idea, because again, too, you're going to be using, and remember to use some strong blacks in some of these areas, maybe, especially in areas where you really see the strongest. And the stronger the blacks that you use, the stronger it's going to, more it's going to look like glass, okay, in those areas, okay? So, and I want to do more on this and spend a little more time, but it has been a long time for my camera person to be taking this, and also for my camera to be working. But know that you have a shadow coming out here, okay, and it's coming right from the stem, and then it comes out here, okay. It's a little bit rough, but should do some more testing with this. Be careful. I don't want to be too rough with this, and just gonna have to. But you're going to create that light that's out here in the piece as well. Okay, I'm not going to finish this right now because of the time constraints, but oops. But I did want to get you started on this, and I want you to get that sense of observing this and a sense of glass on this piece. Okay, when you're working with this. So, okay, be careful with this, and we'll talk again soon in class, and I'll give you some more discussion on this when we talk, okay? If you're not in the class, I hope this gives you a little insight into working with charcoal. And I'll bring up, hold on just a minute, I'll bring up another piece just to show you how it looks in the finished piece, okay? Okay, hold on just a minute, you can show that while I'm doing this. Here's the finished piece. Okay. And it gives a sense of it. And then you can go right over on top of it and look at it. Oh, don't do it too close. Come away. Sorry. Yeah, it's gonna, I don't know how it's going to look if they have to look at it sideways or not. Okay. All right. Okay, y'all. Thanks so much, and good drawing. Have you enjoy the drawing.